ITV crime drama Grantchester returns for a 7th series this spring, and fans have been given their first glimpse of the new series in a dramatic new trailer. And episode 1 is set to get off to a thrilling start after the body of a dead man is found in the village. The grim discovery is quickly identified to be Lord Edmund Fitzgerald, who has been living an itinerant life traveling the world since the war. Fans of the detective drama can expect plenty of upheaval in the village following the discovery. Meanwhile, Reverend Will Davenport and D.I. Geordie Keating find themselves at odds with Geordie's new boss D.C.I. Elliot Wallace and D.C. Larry Peters in viewing the death as a murder. As Will and Geordie investigate the Fitzgerald family history, they find themselves looking into Edmund's own romantic past and believe a story of lost love could hold the clue to his killer. Elsewhere in the episode, wedding season is in full swing in the Cambridgeshire village. Among the Reverend's many brides-to-be is Adele Fitzgerald, who lives on the once splendid, but now declining Fitzgerald estate with her green-fingered spinster sister Maud. It looks like romance might also be on the cards for Will when he meets an enigmatic woman at a jazz club, while Geordie, currently staying at the vicarage in Leonard's old room, has a plan to win back estranged wife Kathy and return to the family home. It remains unclear whether both men are headed for happy ever after or heartbreak. It comes after star Robson Green hinted that D.I. Geordie Keating will struggle to adjust to his new bachelor status in Series 7, following his split from wife Kathy. The actor has hinted that the detective will be sent back to square one as he desperately tries to win back his wife's affections, after he struggled to cope with the demons that have haunted him since the war. As Season 7 begins, Keating has moved out of his marital home and is living with Reverend Will Davenport, and he becomes determined to reunite with Kathy while still solving the village's crimes. Speaking ahead of the new series, Robson said, "Geordie is lost at the beginning of this series, he no longer has the safety net of family. He is detached from Kathy and the kids and has living with Will at the vicarage, also feeling lost there and like a fish out of water. There's a lot of scope for odd couple behavior. Tom is definitely Jack Lemmon and Geordie is Walter Matthau. The situation Geordie is in lends itself to lots of levity, but he is a shadow of his former self. Has back to square one and almost a bachelor again and realizes he has to try and get Kathy back. It's a very simple tale for Geordie. A long time ago he met the love of his life in Kathy, then he lost her and now he has to try and win her back. The one person Geordie seeks advice from, who he shouldn't seek advice from, is Will. Terry's a funny irony being played out throughout the series. Despite his separation from Kathy, Robson added that he is still determined to rekindle his romance with his spouse. He said, "Geordie is quite deluded when it comes to his relationship with Kathy. He thinks she's just going to come back, but the more time he spends away from her, the more detached they become and Geordie becomes more of a stranger, not only to Kathy but to their children as well." Everything that anchored Geordie and gave him his sense of worth and belonging and his reasons to carry on is disappearing. Geordie's love for Kathy is as strong as it ever was, but she has moved on. She's liberated and found a new life and new freedom. She now has control over her own life, which used to be dictated to by Geordie's work and by Geordie himself, to a certain extent, and Kathy is enjoying all of these changes and this evolution. Geordie not only loses a sense of family and Kathy but also a sense of himself. This is recognized by Will and Bonnie and everyone else around him, and they are all trying to get Geordie and Kathy back together, but they themselves are the only ones that can do this. Elsewhere, Casey Ainsworth, who plays Kathy, revealed she becomes increasingly frustrated with his attempts to juggle detective work with co-parenting their children. She said, "At the beginning of the series Kathy has thrown Jordy out, this time for good, and they're trying to co-parent and negotiate the logistics of it all with pickups and drop-offs, the whole diary mess, which doesn't fit well with Jordy's job. Has a bit all over the place, and he is realizing how hard it is to try and combine work and childcare." Kathy does become increasingly frustrated with Jordy's attempts at juggling his two responsibilities, which sees him taking the children to work and him being a murder detective. That isn't ideal. Grantchester Series 7 begins on ITV on Friday 11 March at 9 p.m.